Hello, world, and what will Joe give away next? Welcome back to Talkin Live. We hope you enjoy the show. I'm just coming up here, and I'm going to tell you about what Joe done. I've told you about all the wonderful things he's doing for America before he leaves office. He went down to Ethiopia. I think that's where he went. And he saw them poor old people. Now, he forgot about the country, our country, you know. He went down there and he gave them $1 billion. Now, there's people over North Carolina and Florida and the Georgia coast and all those places. They need help. And he's over in Ethiopia giving our tax dollars away. Ain't you glad he's not going to be in there? Well, I'm wondering if he's going to bankrupt the country before he gets out of office. It's like having the time bomb in the office in White House right now, waiting on it to explode, or start a World War III, or, I don't know, maybe going over to Iran and giving them a couple billion. I don't know what this man's going to do next. Well, I wonder who he'll pardon. I just wonder, he ought to pardon all the mafia people who went to prison up there and still alive in prison. I mean, he's just as dirty as they are. Actually, they're better than him. They keep their own little world in their own world. They don't try to go out and take over and give everything they got away and try to take away. It's a long story about that. That's another story. But this man keeps on giving stuff away. All of a sudden, all these people down in the Carolinas, he just gets on a plane, goes to Ethiopia, and, I'll give you $1 billion. If it was his money, would he be giving away? No, he wouldn't. He wouldn't pardon his son, which he said he wouldn't, which I don't have no problem with that. A lot of people do. I don't think he should, but that was his son. But I'm just worried about where he's going to go next and give money away. I'm constantly trying to figure out what he will do before he gets out of office. These people over in North Carolina don't have nothing. An African country that the government will steal all that money. The people won't get the money anyway. For the droughts and all that, they don't never get the money. The government people get that. They don't trace this money. It goes out to the government, and they divide it between their politicians in that country. I mean, I know how it works. Don't you know how it works? If you ever looked at a donation for a country that had a disaster, did you see all the people took care of? No, you didn't do that because they didn't say nothing about it because they pocket the money. As I said one time, I was talking to a lady over in the Philippines. She told me they never see a dime of that money that comes from America. And there's other countries. If you talk to them, they would tell you right fast that it never comes to them. These people over here in Ukraine, they won't get that money, all that money. They'll steal all that money. And I can't stand to see that man get up and tell how bad it is in Ukraine. They should have planned, if they planned the war, they need to take care of their own stuff. They got a lot of resources over there in Ukraine that they could take care of their own people. But they want to bum off us. And, of course, our administration we have now wants to give it to them. You know, I've been in this world long enough to see what's going on in politics. Some people just don't see, they hear, and they don't. They look, and they don't see, and they hear, and they don't hear. You got eyes to see and ears to hear, but they never realize what's going on. I mean, like Baldwin said, people are not up to date with what's going on. But as people like the media and all those things are going on, it keeps people ignorant to what's going on. They believe the media, they believe on what they hear, what they see on the media, some of the medias, most of the medias. I get Fox, I watch Fox, and I watch all the things coming up. I mean, I get tired of hearing the same old thing. You know, that's one thing about it. We just keep talking about what's happening, what's going on, not doing nothing about it. If Donald Trump makes it to the White House with all the chaos going on, it'll be a miracle. And I'm sure that those people at January 6th be glad to get out of jail when he gets in there. He said he's going to pardon them, which I wish he wouldn't say what he's going to do. I get tired of hearing him saying what he's going to do. Would you get in there and show people what you're going to do? Don't say what you're going to do. Show people what you're going to do. I have some people call me and tell me they're going to do this, do that, and never do it. Seems like when you're talking about doing something, it don't go right. And you try to do something, it just goes all backwards. You know, I have hopes for things that I plan on doing, but I don't never get them done because I just don't get around to it, or it don't happen from the people. People's word is not worth nothing now. I feel like Donald Trump will do what he says. I feel like he will. And I'm dreading Elon Musk. If a man won't buy himself a house and he's too stingy to buy him a house and living on at his company, which that's his choice, that's his money, but I don't see. I try to figure out what he's going to do to Social Security. He's trying to cut back on money. Government spending, which I agree. I think we need to cut back on our spending, giving away money like it's never going to run out. That's what Joe does. He don't care about your well-being. You notice in the last 4 years how he's took care of you, how he's took care of you in the disasters. How has he took care of you? He took care of people in the hotels that come across the border illegally. He took care of those people more than he did his own American people. That's what he's been doing. All the time that he's been in office, he's been looking out for somebody else. You know, Biden is a kind of man that is set in his own ways. He's going to do things like he wants to right up to the last minute. And if it hurts American people, he don't care. I mean, he's an old man. He's about ready for the grave with a banana peeling, one foot in the grave, one other foot on a banana peeling. He said, well, I ain't going to have to go through all this. You know, I don't care about this. I mean, the way he acts, so you don't know what he thinks all the way. You know what people think when you see what they do. And you see all around you what's going on, and then you wonder, why is he doing this to us American people? Because he don't care. He never cared. Kamala Harris would have never made a president. She couldn't even make a dog catcher. I swear that woman is the biggest nut I ever seen in my life to run for president. The Democratic Party, they got this idea that she can run for president, and she lost. That's the best they had. Now Newsom's wanting to run in 2028, which I may not be here, but there's another nut that it don't look out for his people. And they want to give money for operations for children and change them from boy to girl, girl to boy. And it just blows my mind that I turn on the TV and I see more and more of the stupidest things I ever heard in my life. And that's why we like Talking Live, because we can talk the way we want to as long as it stays in the bounds of right and wrong. There's people that's out there that wants to do a show. After the first year, we want to have some guests on this show. I mean, we don't care if you're overseas, where you're at. We can do a show with you, a virtually show. If you're in Nashville or Norway, wherever you at, we are putting out advertising Nashville. We want to be in the magazine up there. We thought about opening the studio in Nashville, but it's too much stress for me, so I cannot do it right now at the moment. If I had somebody run it, it'd be a different story. I have some friends in country music would help me out, but I just don't want to go that far no more, because we need to have studios where people can come and do shows. And I think we get a lot of shows in Nashville. I used to have an office up there at one time, and we'd have people come in and want to do this, do it, songwriters and all that. It's getting to the point, you can only be, spread out too much. That's what a lot of people spread out too much. That's why they go bankrupt. That's what's going on. And speaking of bankruptcy, I seen a big trucking company going bankrupt. You never seen such a big companies, corporations, restaurants, and all that stuff bankrupt until you seen Joe Biden come in office. People that were working on the oil rigs knocked them out of jobs. People working on the pipelines, oil pipelines, and knocked them out of a job. But he loves the American people, and democracy is going to be destroyed with Donald Trump. I think democracy was just about to be destroyed with Joe Biden and all his people. I mean, that environmental guy, what's his name? Chip Harry. He knows all about the environment. You know how he finds out where we're polluted? That big nose of his goes out there and sniffs it out. So he thinks. He don't really have no proof of what's going on. But I mean, we can go to internet and we can see China, Hong Kong, and all those different cities over there. They are polluting the air. They are wasteful and polluting our air. If all the nations don't come in together, there's no hope if that's be the case, because India is polluted. I mean, the Biden's organization started this solar panel stuff, which it works in certain areas. It will work, but you can't just shut down the gas lines just for solar panels. Even cold spells in America, people have these very cold spells like up north, and they have this jet stream come down and bring all that cold air down. There's no way even our gas and oil can't keep up with it. Sometimes they have blackouts. And I know for sure that solar panels are not going to meet the need for power and for what we need to grow in the United States. It's going to have to be oil. And Donald Trump knows that. And Biden, he knows it. But he wanted to bring this up here. He allegedly went China, sat down with the leaders of China. It's all about money. And for us to smother all the stuff they got going on about the environment, I look at the landfills and all these kind of stuff. Them's the biggest problem we got, more than we have the the pollution in the air. And these solar panels, no one had no answer to redo them and or process them to keep it out of the environment. There's silicon metal. And the batteries that back up the solar panels. Where's the answer for those batteries? And I'm talking about people, residents, that those batteries are built a solar panel. Biden never figured on this. Manufacture something and then turn around and say you care about the environment and not make these companies have the solution for the recycling of the material that comes out. I mean, why would he go down to Angola anyway? Why? It just don't work right, don't look right, don't make sense for him about going out of office for him to go to Angola. Does it make sense to you for him to go down there? It don't me. Maybe Hunter's down there with him making a deal. We don't know. Of course, he's innocent. He's never done nothing wrong. He's never hurt the companies in the country here. He's never done nothing wrong. He's a great president. He'll go down in history. Yeah, he'll go down in history as the worst president we ever had and the worst vice president we got. I didn't mean to get on Biden today, but this going down to Angola and giving $1 billion away when my fellow Americans over in all these other places are in bad shape. And oh yeah, I just want to let everybody know Daniel Penny, he got off, just to let everybody know. And he got off not guilty today. Bragg, he's teed off for him getting off. He's mad because it's a racial thing with him. Everything's a racial thing with these people. And you know, Biden and Obama is the one started all this bull crap about racism. I mean, I thought they would throw the book at Penny. I thought they'd just string him up in the courtroom. But to my surprise, and I think Donald Trump would have pardoned him anyway, but to my surprise, he got off not guilty. I'm not condoning hurting anybody, killing anybody. I think he just tried to hold that guy back. Maybe his health wasn't good, and he just, maybe died, or he just didn't realize that he was putting all that pressure on him. And it's a sad thing. But you know what? When we do something wrong, we got to take the cost with it. It's like Joe. He's doing American wrong. He's going to have to take the cost with it one day. We all have to pay for what we do. This guy was there. He was harassing people, and trying to start trouble on the subway. And he asked for what he got. Maybe not to be murdered or killed, but he asked for that happened to happen to him, because some people ain't going to sit around and let you do that to them. People don't, they're fed up with this bull crap, all this crap that's been going on with the Biden administration. And all you movie stars, I'm telling you, you want to leave the country because Donald Trump, well, what did you have? Did it make a difference where Biden's in there? I think it would make a difference to you, because people will have the money to buy and pay for entertainment. That just makes y'all richer. I don't see, and I appreciate everyone that's been on this show, but it's not what it should have been in our country. Would you open your door up to somebody and let them all come in your house and just lodge in your house and just fill up your house and you couldn't even move around because you had so many people in there? No, you wouldn't. Well, that's what's happened to America because of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. They have let people come in this country not knowing who they are, what they're out guilty of, or anything. And the getaways, they talk about the getaways. God only knows what's coming in this country. Nobody knows. Nobody knows what's going to happen. And I believe Donald Trump's going to have a rough time as a president putting all this stuff together. And there are people lose their life over this thing that shouldn't have never happened. We'll have to spend billions of dollars in taxes to get them out of this country. And to keep up with the damage they'll do. Now, don't get me wrong, Spanish people are hard-working people, but not all of them. Not all of them are. I mean, I have friends that Spanish, they work, I pay them, I even give them extra when they do jobs for me because they'll try it too cheap, and I'll tell them, look, man, it's worth more than that. I got that guy that does my tree work, trims my trees, tops my trees on where my houses are, and he offered to do about 6 trees for me for $1,000. Big, tall trees. Took one down and topped and done a great job for me. Knowed him for years. Sometimes he gets careless, but we all do that. This Gina, the Fred is wrongly claims of 64% American support pardon. That's what this lady said. You know, her publisher, you know, the lady, what's her, Janet Pierce? She is press secretary. She's taken up for Biden too, and there's so many questions she can't answer. I mean, the liberals, they got a backer poll anyway. They got a poll that might try to make them look good, but you can't cover all the awful things that this president has done to this country. Only 34% of Americans support Biden and pardoning his son Hunter. You know, it's 50% is opposed. I mean, it's getting to the end of his administration, and there is no telling what he will do to this country before he gets out of office. I'm hoping that money that $1 billion don't go there and go there until Trump gets in there and he'll put a stop to it. I mean, Elon Musk, I mean, him and I don't know the other guy, but I follow Elon Musk because of the technology that he does. I mean, I'd love to have one of those robots, but I'm going to need one for long. Seems to be. Can't get nobody to work sometimes. That may be. The only problem is you have to carry the robot to the place where you're working, I guess, or leave them there, you know. Yeah. But Elon Musk is a penny pinching guy, and I kind of reminds me of my daughter, you know. But she will squeeze a penny till it hollers. The old saying goes, scream a buffalo nickel till it screams. But I guess you got to do that to make up for the loss of what the past administration has done to this country. We need, in my opinion, we need to have our country. Oh yeah. Okay. In my opinion, we need to have our country watched on what we spend, and I think Musk will do it. But I want to tell all you people, we got a great coverage in the Chattanooga, Tennessee EPB cable, and we are spreading out. We go up to Soddy Daisy, Cleveland, down in Ringo, Rossville. Not too much in Ringo, but in Rossville. I don't know if I said Soddy Daisy or not, but and you know, the area, surrounding areas, and we even go further north than I thought we would, and I think it's going to expand. I had talked to them about it. They're going to expand their coverage, but takes time to get grow. That's and I'd like to say this: I appreciate every person has subscribed to our TV channel on YouTube. We're up to nearly 15,000. We've been here for about a year and a half, and I thank you all for coming to our website. Listener, we got a lot of Christmas music coming up, so when you want to go listen to some music, go to our YouTube page channel, and of course we have music on our other channels on Sunday, but we're adding a lot of Christmas carols onto our shows, and we want you to enjoy them and have a great Christmas. And of course, I'll be doing more shows before Christmas, and we want to say we appreciate you all. God bless you.
The views and opinions expressed on all Talkin Live presentations are those of the host and their guests, and not necessarily those of the staff or management of the Talkin Live TV broadcast studio, or by this channel or its management.